baby, a movement. Man, JFK right here. I wish Ty Dirty was here to see it.
Let's go.
What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Ron coming back at you with another one. Now today we're going to be talking about Tennessee versus Garner. This was a case that set the precedent for what we know today as the fleeing felon rule. Now a little bit of background on it. It happened with a child. He was a teenager, but he was a minor. And he was suspected of breaking into a home. And once the police arrived on the scene, he bolted, took off running, and as he was jumping over a back fence, the officer shot him in the back and killed him. Now the reason he said he did it was because he was, fleeing the scene of a felony, which is breaking and entering, or a burglary. So he said he shot him because he was running away. And the father took and filed charges against him, basically saying that he violated his son's constitutional right, because the officer thought that the minor was 17 or 18 years old, but he was a slim build guy. He didn't look in stature to be of 17 or 18 years of age. So the father basically took the court saying that his son's constitutional right was violated, and at first they ruled against him. But he took it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, hey, this is unconstitutional. His rights were violated, because it basically, once he killed him, he still took him into custody, which made it an unlawful seizure, which is part of the Fourth Amendment. And today, it basically, what they did when they went and took it to the Supreme Court, they had to put guidelines in place to state when is it okay for an officer to use deadly force in the apprehension of a felony, someone in commission of a felony. And basically what they came up with was a few little guidelines that they have to follow. The officer basically has to be in the presence of this felony that's being committed. Secondly, the officer has to feel that the person that's committing the felony is a danger or a threat to the community at large, to the officer directly, or also to themselves, the person that's committing the felony. So if they feel that this person is a danger in all three of those situations, then they can ultimately put them down and take them into custody. Now, I tell people all the time, this is kind of what they were trying to build up with the Mike Brown situation. From my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, I already knew once I saw that they started saying that, oh, he went for Darren Wilson's gun, or he assaulted him in his police car. I knew then that they were trying to build a fleeing felon case, because if he went for the gun, it's a felony, especially if he gets it. If he assaulted the officer, it's a felony. So now, if you go for my gun, but you don't get it, but you still take off running, you assault me and you take off running, now you're fleeing, which labels you a fleeing felon. So now, I feel that you are definitely a threat to me, because you tried to take my weapon or assaulted me. Secondly, if you would have gotten my weapon, then you would have been a danger to the community at large. But because he didn't get the gun, they really didn't truly prove that he assaulted him in his vehicle, but he took off running. So even though he was going away from you, now he's no longer a threat. So the fleeing felon rule didn't apply. So that's why they didn't go forward with trying to push it out there. Now the thing is, with that, they had two out of the three didn't apply, so they couldn't push it. But this is just another thing I wanted my people to know. Hey, there are laws out here that it's all researchable information. Go and look it up. Like the old saying used to say when we were kids back in school, the more you know, the more you grow. Peace.
Feeling the wind, all the divas are watching. Feeling the wind, senoritas are rocking. Feeling the wind, middle of the map, nice. Summer on smash, middle of the map, guys.